College basketball is back. J.C. Hoyt makes her Cowgirl debut, Cowboy hockey wins Bedlam, and an up-close look at OSU's newest softball coach, and much more on this week's episode of the Poke Report. Good morning and welcome to the Poke Report. It is blackout week here in Stillwater and we are outside of the Cowgirl Softball Stadium. I'm Asa Lucas.
And I'm Alex Tusky. We have a great show for you today, so let's get right into it. Cowboy football traveled up to Lawrence, Kansas last weekend. I had the pleasure of reliving that tough loss. Here's the recap. The Cowboys are looking forward to not having to play in the state of Kansas until 2024. OSU was defeated by the Jayhawks last Saturday, 37-16. It was all on the ground for Kansas, starting off with a 31-yard run from Devin Neal. The Jayhawks got into the red zone again before the first quarter ended, settling for a field goal, making it 10-0 going into the second. That made it 5 consecutive quarters for OSU without a point. However, the scoring drought ended with 10 minutes in the half as Garrett Rangel threw his first career touchdown pass to Stephon Johnson Jr. The kick was good, and OSU's only down by 3. The Jayhawks continued to score with an impressive 73-yard QB keep from Jason Bean and an 8-yard pass to Lawrence Arnold, making it 24-7 at halftime. There wasn't much from the Cowboys in the second half. Tanner Brown made a 35-yard field goal, and Jaden Nixon caught a 35-yard touchdown pass. But with a failed 2-point conversion, the final score was 37-16. OSU is allowing over 30 points per game and has notched 3 losses on the year. While there are issues across the board, the defense is one thing that must be resolved going into the remaining 3 games. First-year defensive coordinator Derek Mason says they have to figure out where it all went wrong.
Came into this game and thought the game plan was good. Okay, it felt like even at halftime, what we got to do is do what we do better. Just way too many missed opportunities.
Injuries have been plaguing the team for the last 3 weeks. For the first time since the 2020 Kansas game, Spencer Sanders wasn't the starting quarterback for the Cowboys. True freshman Garrett Rangel was under center the entire game. Rangel finished with 3 interceptions, but also with 2 touchdowns and over 300 passing yards. Head coach Mike Gundy realizes mistakes come with nerves, but that Rangel has potential.
Once he settled down, he made some plays. Obviously turnovers are difficult. But he made a few plays.
After 2 tough road games, the Cowboys are coming home. The team kicks off tomorrow at 2:30 inside Boone Pickens Stadium against the Iowa State Cyclones. It's a sold-out blackout game. If you weren't able to get a ticket, ESPNU has the coverage.
Always fascinating to see, Alex, what's happening, even though Cowboy football has been a disappointment this year.
We're wearing black for the blackout, but some could say it's black for a funeral of Cowboy football.
But if we want to look at the positive side of Cowboy athletics, the Cowboy hockey team was playing Bedlam in the BOK Arena just this past week. Drew Allen has the story.
One shot sent the OSU Cowboys onto the ice to celebrate the Bedlam win at the BOK Center. The Cowboys stretched ahead with a 4-1 lead before the Sooners scored 3 unanswered goals to tie up the score at the end of regulation. But Tobias Alvagran hit the game-winning shot to give OSU the 5-4 win in overtime.
Making that goal felt kind of unbelievable. When I saw it just slide into the goal, I was just like, holy shit, it actually went in. And going down the ice, I just felt like, okay, I just got to get over there and see what happens, basically.
This is a monumental win for the Cowboys, occurring in front of the largest crowd at the largest arena in the program's brief history.
But attendance-wise, we won the game that mattered. We had, I don't know what the final number is yet, but I know it's over at least 3,000 to 4,000 at the BOK game for our games. So we won the one that mattered.
The energy was electric in the BOK Center following Alvagran's game-winning goal, proving it wasn't just a big moment for him, but a big moment for the hockey program and the fans inside the arena.
Like the moment it happened after celebrating, I was like, man, we just kind of cemented our program to survive for a very long time. That just kind of it kind of saved our program a little bit.
I've never played in an arena like this in front of a crowd like that. So for me, that's a memory for a lifetime, the highlight of my hockey career. I just hope that us winning that game has brought a lot of positive attention to our program.
The Cowboys must now focus on this weekend's matchups against the Baylor Bears in Waco, but no one will be forgetting Bedlam and the BOK anytime soon. For the Poke Report, I'm Drew Allen.
Thanks, Drew. A Bedlam win is always sweet here for the Cowboys.
Another club sport here at OSU is lacrosse, and Jason Claus will tell us more.
Lacrosse. It's fast-paced and hard-hitting. The intensity and action in lacrosse makes it one of the most competitive sports there is. Now, to some, lacrosse is seen as a regional sport, and most people may think all the teams are located in the Northeast. But right under their nose is the Lone Star Alliance, a conference of the MCLA, or the Men's Collegiate Lacrosse Association, which is where the Cowboys play. The Pokes play in Division II level, but are often faced by Division I teams featuring familiar opponents such as Kansas, TCU, and of course, OU. That's right, Bedlam Lacrosse. Now, lacrosse season won't be here until the spring, but that doesn't mean you can't support another one of Oklahoma State's teams. Even if you're brand new to lacrosse or a lacrosse fanatic, why not support the hometown Cowboys this upcoming season? It may not be lacrosse season just yet, but Cowboy Lacrosse is looking forward to having a strong season with the Cowboy family right behind them. Give them a follow on social media and stay up to date for a schedule release in the coming months so you can show up, wear orange, and support your Cowboys. For the Poke Report, I'm Jason Claus.
Coming up next, we have one softball player turned coach. That and more on the Poke Report.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars, like fresh-packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza.
Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie Ford Lincoln.
At ASAP Energy, our goal is to provide the best customer service for whatever our clients need.
My relationship with ASAP Energy came about in 2007. I was wanting to build a convenience store. I didn't know how to do it. I'd never been in the business. I just felt comfortable with Rick. And so I knew that I wanted to do business with a guy like that. Integrity, loyalty, and family. I would recommend that to anybody. Thanks for taking a chance on me.
At ASAP Energy, everything matters.
Where were you born? It's a question asked all the time. Because where you're from shapes who you are, inspires how you do things. And when that inspiration comes from a place this refreshing, this majestic, this... well, you get the idea. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
Welcome back to the Poke Report. I'm Alex Hussey, accompanied by Asa Lucas. Cowboy basketball is off to a great start, beating UT Arlington 77-66. Jaden Mesteda has the recap.
Oklahoma State basketball is back. The Cowboys made their season debut Monday and looked to take down UT Arlington in front of the home crowd. Defense, defense, defense. The three words that can be used to describe the performance OSU gave. They played a very scrappy and at times sloppy game that resulted in UT Arlington to struggle for shots. The defense led by Caleb Boone and Musa Cisse had a total of 15 blocks and steals combined, and they held Arlington to just 35% from the field.
We became the number 4 defensive team by the end of last season, and to see our guys still committed to that end and giving our offense some time to catch up was good to see.
Even though they started off slow, the offense began to pick up the pace in the second half, and what was a very balanced attack. Leading the team in scoring was Bryce Thompson with 18, followed by John Michael Wright with 14, and Caleb Boone with 15. The Cowboys as a team did an excellent job of showing their length, getting boards, and getting to the foul line. Musa Cisse tallied just 5 points, but ended up with 4 blocks and 2 steals. He showed enough of a facet to provide a chance for several lineup possibilities for OSU down the road.
Actually, a lot of people always wondered why Musa and me and Musa aren't playing together. Why can't he just play both of us? But now me and Musa are on the same team. We practice all the time. We do the yo-yo. That's the pass that was a yo-yo pass that he gave to me. But every time in practice, I'll be in the middle of a post move. I see a double team. I'll just throw the lob to Musa because I know he's going to be right there.
The Cowboys led the entire game, showing tenacity and effort on defense, coming away with a 77-66 victory. OSU will play 8 of the first 11 games at home, hoping to get on the right foot before Big 12 play. For the Poke Report, I'm Jaden Bastida.
Thank you, Jaden. The Cowboys are traveling up to Michigan to take on Oakland on Sunday. We're now going to hand it off to Tony Wetmore, our basketball expert. Tony?
Thanks, guys. Both the Cowgirls and the Cowboys have found great success in Gallagher-Iba this week, and the Cowgirls look to continue that tonight at 6:30 against Northwestern State. The Cowboys will be on the road this weekend in Detroit to play Oakland and hope to find success in their first away game. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Tony. Cowgirl basketball is starting a new era under J.C. Hoyt. While Hoyt may be new to OSU, her Big 12 roots run deep. Our own Alex Calloway with more.
The Oklahoma State Cowgirl basketball team is looking to rebuild their culture with new head coach J.C. Hoyt. Hoyt, former coach of the Kansas City Roos, brings a new perspective to the team. The Cowgirls are coming into the new season with few rollovers from last season's roster, as there are 8 new players residing in Stillwater. Despite what can be a tough transition, there is a reason for optimism, as the Cowgirls cruised to victory in their season opener, outscoring their opponent by 21 in the second half with 30 points in the third quarter alone to beat the Texas Rio Grande Valley Vaqueros 95-63 for the first win of the Hoyt era. 5 Cowgirls scored in double figures, with Villanova transfer Lear Garzon leading the way with 19 points, 17 of those coming in the second half alone on 5 of 8 shooting from three-point range. Junior Taylor Collins also added a double-double with a 10-point, 12-rebound performance in the Cowgirl victory. The Cowgirls' next 2 games are on their home court before a match against Missouri State in Springfield on November 17th for the first road game of the season. The Cowgirls' regular season highlights also include a trip to Cancun for matchups against Florida State, Harvard, and Purdue as a part of the Women's Cancun Challenge, which will take place from November 24th through the 26th. Shortly after, the Cowgirls will start Big 12 conference play on December 31st versus Kansas at home. For the Poke Report, I'm Alex Calloway.
Thank you, Alex. You have a great name, by the way. J.C. Hoyt's time with the Kansas City Roos was phenomenal, finishing with a record of 81-65. Speaking of outstanding women, the name Morgan Day may sound familiar to some of you. Hayden Simmons has a story.
It's never easy to say goodbye to the game you love. Luckily for her, former OSU softball player Morgan Day only had to say goodbye to her on-field playing days, but she's still a part of the game. Morgan spent her first 4 years of college at Illinois State, but when it came time for grad school, she was ready for a change, landing at Oklahoma State.
Mutually, I chose Oklahoma State also because Oklahoma State chose me. From the moment I entered the transfer portal, Coach Gajewski reached out to me the same day, kind of got the ball rolling on our connection and our relationship.
Morgan made the most of her year in Stillwater, playing a key role on a historic Cowgirl team that won a conference title and made it to college softball's Final Four.
Storybook ending. I'm really glad that it went our way, and I couldn't be happier with the outcome. You could just really feel the whole sense of team and everybody playing for each other, and I know that was definitely one of the really big highlights of my year.
The end of last season marked the end of Morgan's playing career, but not the end of her time with the Cowgirls. She has taken a graduate assistant role with the team, and she says the transition has been smooth.
It's been peaceful because I still get to be around the game, and I just think that I was more mentally ready for a new role outside of being a player in softball than I thought I was originally. So I think it's a great transitional role for me to be able to still be around the team, around the girl, around the OSU Cowgirl softball program.
With no gap between playing and coaching, many of Morgan's former teammates now call her coach. They say that Morgan's big personality has made the adjustment easy.
Same old Morgan. She still brings her fun-loving energy every single day. She throws to us now still, which is great. Gives us some live looks, and she keeps it fun. And I'm glad she's still here.
With 1 year left of graduate school, Morgan will have more big decisions to make in the future. But for now, she wants to enjoy what could be her final year with Cowgirl softball.
I think just for me, it's just kind of that closure from the game, which it's just, like I said, being peaceful, I think is really the best word to describe it.
Morgan and the Cowgirls will look to capture that same magic from last year during their season next spring. Reporting for the Poke Report, I'm Hayden Simmons.
Thank you, Hayden. Morgan played a key role in helping the Cowgirls win the Big 12 championship last season, and I'm sure her impact will be felt again this season. Up next, we move over to the controller, checking out OSU's Call of Duty team. All that and more after this commercial break.
The Deli Department at Homeland is Oklahoma's headquarters for party trays. Enjoy the time with family and friends at your next event, and let your neighborhood Homeland create the perfect fruit, deli, or cheese tray for you. The party planners at Homeland will help you choose the perfect party food, sized just right for your guests. Call us, stop in, or order online, and we'll make it ready for pickup on your schedule. Make your next party special with a party tray from your neighborhood Homeland.
Good to be home, Homeland.
Love these things. Hilarious.
I'm sorry. Force of habit.
As long as you are you, it's Miller time.
Hi, it's Sam at Louis Grill and Bar, here to introduce our new menu items from south of the border. Come try our new poblano chicken tacos, or the ever-popular sriracha shrimp tacos. At Louis, where you come for the food, but stay for the fun.
It's hard to imagine my life before her, or a day without her. So much of what I take for granted simply wouldn't exist. She is the force that holds our life together. She is my everything, the center of my universe, from Forevermark. The diamond, the promise. Available at Lewis Jewelers.
I'm Randy Heights with 1077 The Franchise, and let me tell you about the HCG diet from New Leaf Wellness and what it's meant to me. Over the last year, I've dropped 90 pounds, and this has been a lifesaver, guys. I'm in a wheelchair, so I can't always get to the gym, and what's been incredible about this diet, when I can't work out, I still lose the weight. 90 pounds in a year is a lot for anyone, but for me, it's been a miracle. Why don't you give New Leaf Wellness Centers a call and see if they can't help you with a free consultation, or go online at newleafcenters.com.
And welcome back to the Poke Report. The Cowboy baseball team ended in heartbreaking fashion here in Stillwater just a year ago, hosting the NCAA Regionals. Now, the baseball season isn't upcoming for a few more weeks, but our own Parker Salmers is looking into the upcoming season.
After finishing a solid 42-22 in 2022 and going 15-9 in conference play and making it all the way to the regional finals, the Cowboys would end up falling just short, losing to the Arkansas Razorbacks 7-3. The Pokes will look to build on a promising season with sophomore star utility man Rock Riggio. Last season, Riggio batted .295 while having an on-base percentage of .413, hitting 11 home runs and slugging .519. But the Cowboys must also look to replace a key player in Jake Thompson, who graduated last year. Thompson batted .350 last season with 14 home runs, 20 doubles, with having a slugging percentage of a .553. But he was also a key player defensively for the Cowboys. However, Thompson isn't the only player the Cowboys lost from 2022 to 2023, as starting pitcher Justin Campbell was drafted in the competitive balance Round A, 37th overall in the MLB draft by the Cleveland Guardians. Through his time at Oklahoma State, Campbell pitched in 205 innings, going 17-6, allowing 77 earned runs with a .337 ERA. Now we shift to this upcoming season where the Cowboys have 12 true freshmen on the current roster, while still having some veteran help such as Nolan McClain, David Mintham, Chase Atkinson, and a few more in that group. With the conference schedule not being released, we cannot determine who the Pokes will play in non-conference games and make a schedule prediction where we think the Pokes will finish by season's end. However, the Pokes did finish last season as the number 17 team, and many experts expect the Pokes to start the season ranked around there. From the Poke Report, I'm Parker Summers.
Thank you, Parker. Now it's time to dive a bit into the gaming world. If you're not a gamer, I promise you it's going to be very interesting to learn about. Bo Smith has the story.
Every year, Activision, along with partners Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and others, release a new Call of Duty title. For the average buyer, they are excited for the title and a new COD, as fans call it, a game to play with their friends. For the Call of Duty esports team, they are excited not only for the new title, but for their competition to get underway. In 2020, OSU made an esports arena, but due to the global pandemic, it was not opened up until 2021. After that, a COD team was formed. These students spend a lot of their time between classwork, practice, social life, and any other extracurriculars they are a part of in a given week.
You know, you're going to school full time. You know, you're putting in anywhere from 15 hours minimum, you know, to go to class to up to 40, 50 hours outside of class. So that's, you know, like a full-time job, but full-time student. And then, you know, depending on what the season is like, sometimes you'll have 5-hour practice weeks, sometimes you'll have 15-hour if it's a week you have games.
For some, Call of Duty has been a game they have played since they were a kid.
Probably around when MW3 or Black Ops 1 came out, so 2008, 9, 10, somewhere around there, and then I've just been on COD ever since.
Now, there are a lot of differences between a competitive player and a casual player, and we'll get into those differences now.
Now, for several people who don't play the game often, it is naked to the average player's eye. But for the players on a competitive team, they can tell the difference on how the game feels, moves, and needs to be played.
I like how the competitive maps play, the guns feel good. I played competitive a little bit in this game, and I think it should set up for a good new season.
Even though they spend a lot of their time practicing, playing the game they compete in, they like to play other games away from Call of Duty.
Definitely. We play a lot of scary games, you know, like Phasmophobia, Inside the Backrooms.
According to both Isaac and Austin, playing games other than Call of Duty can help build a team bond that will help them compete in tournaments. For the Poke Report, I'm Bo Smith.
Thanks, Bo. Well, with Big 12 football now in swing, we got to bring on our own Poke Report Big 12 expert, Mr. Jace Andrews. Come on the show.
Yay, welcome.
We'll make some room for you.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you can, you know, fit me in this tough broadcast.
How nice of you to match the blackout theme as well.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest, kind of just got lucky. Wasn't really thinking of it, but hey, got the black match with y'all. That's the best thing I can ask for.
All right, so as a Big 12 expert, can you give me a quick 30-second synopsis on what the fans need to know and what happened in the Big 12 last week?
Well, let's start first TCU. They stayed undefeated, beating Texas Tech at home. That game ended 34-24. Baylor took down OU second year in a row. It's only the second time they've done that in their entire history.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. Last time was 2013, 2014. Obviously, our Cowboys traveled down to Lawrence, Kansas, and without Spencer Sanders, had a tough game. We kind of saw that. But another team you got to watch out for, Kansas State played Texas. That was probably the biggest game of the week, and Texas came out on top. And I got to tell you, after that loss here at Stillwater, Quinn Ewers looked immaculate in Manhattan.
Now, I know last week you said that you think Texas is going to win out. Do you still feel that way?
100%. I'm more confident than I am last week about that statement because of the way Texas responded. They had that bye week in between our game and the Manhattan game last week, and now you have a tough schedule because they had K-State last week. Now they got TCU, but it's in Texas.
So you think Texas is going to play spoiler to the Big 12's lone hope of going to the playoffs?
Correct. Texas will probably be the one that will end up going to the Sugar Bowl, which is
all right. Well, let's get into our predictions then. Jace, who are your 3 key matchups this week?
All right, well, let's start first with the undefeated Horned Frogs, the Kansas State Wildcats taking on the Baylor Bears in Waco. It's actually a blackout game, kind of copying us.
Yeah, if you notice, I don't know if you guys saw this on social media, the students actually started the blackout. The Blackout McLean Twitter page was created and everyone was retweeting, quoting the Baylor Athletics, and then finally late last night the university actually said, yes, let's do a blackout to try and get it.
Yeah, and the whole hashtag is no excuses because y'all asked for it. So we'll see how Baylor fans turn out.
Before we get into that, I do want to give a quick standings update. Jason and I, we went 3-1 last week. Asa, 2-2, so I improved to 10-6 is my record. I think you guys are both with 8 wins. Asa, you have a couple more losses, though.
Well, I'm a few games behind.
You are.
You didn't give me a shot.
So, well, maybe one week we'll not have Jace pick, and it'll just be Asa's picks.
There we go.
Asa's picks.
That'd be great.
I'll pick one less game than you. But,
Okay, so starting off with that Baylor game, Jace, who do you have winning?
I'm going to go with Kansas State in this one. I think they're going to bounce back from that Texas loss. I do think Baylor's probably the better team in terms of talent-wise, but Kansas State's just looked good all year. I got to be honest, though, I would really like to see Will Howard back out on the field. I know Adrian Martinez is the senior season. He's looking good, but Will Howard fits that team better to me.
I know. I was kind of thinking that if Will Howard would have played last week, would it have been a different outcome?
I don't know if it would have been a different outcome, but I definitely think it would have been a lot closer throughout the entire game.
All right, Asa?
I'm going to go with Kansas State. Baylor has been very hot and cold for me. You just don't really know what they're going to bring. Kansas State's been very consistent. You know they're going to score well and they're going to want to run the ball. Deuce Vaughn looked great against Texas, and I don't think this Baylor run defense can handle him.
I'm going to pick Baylor. I think they're at home. They have the night game. Like we said, the blackout stadium. Hopefully the students can show up and show out. And I have the Bears coming out on top.
So there's her loss.
We
That's
got
good.
one game for us.
That's good, yeah.
All right, the next game, like you said, the lone college playoff hope for the Big 12, number 4 TCU, who is undefeated, taking on Texas in Austin. Asa?
This one's going to be a controversial pick, but like Jace has been saying, I guess we drank the same Coke or something. I don't know what's going on here, but I got to go with Texas. I think you're right. Quinn Ewers is now playing at a level which we haven't really seen in the Big 12, and I like this momentum that they're having.
We drink some water from Lake Travis and up there in Austin. I'm going to say the same thing. I got Quinn Ewers and the Longhorns taking out the victory here. I got to be honest, I think it stinks because I really want a Big 12 team in the playoff.
Please.
I just think TCU's kind of been lucky all year. I got to say it. I don't think their talent level is recognizing of their record.
I saw a lot in that TCU-Texas Tech game where Texas Tech honestly had a shot to win it. So I have the Longhorns winning as well.
Unified.
I think Austin's a very tough place to play. It's not one of the top 2 toughest road games, but it's definitely an interesting environment, for sure. All right, now, of course, our Cowboys taking on the Iowa State Cyclones tomorrow at 2:30, the blackout game. Jace, start us off.
Well, I really don't know what to say because who's going to play at quarterback? What team are we going to be? We play well at home. Are we going to keep this home winning streak? There's so many entities that go into this. I'm going to pick Oklahoma State out of the precipice that Iowa State does not know how to score the football. That just doesn't happen a lot. Hunter Deckers is okay, but he's nothing like Breece Hall and Brock Purdy. There's too much going into that for that offense to try and score. And as much as I want to say our defense is going to hold them to less than 10 points, I also don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to go with Oklahoma State winning this one. Let's say 31-24.
Wow, that is a high scoring for our offense.
Listen, Spencer may be back. I don't know. Garrett also looked very great in the second part of that game.
He did. So I'll give him props. I want Spencer to rest, though, because I want him full strength in Bedlam. I do have the Cowboys winning this one. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I have Cowboys winning 13-10.
Ooh, okay. Well, mine score's kind of in the middle with you guys, but I do have the Cowboys coming up on top 24-21. It's the same 3-point margin of victory, so we'll have to see who is right next week. All right, that'll do it for the Poke Report today. I'm Alex Teskey.
And I'm Asa Lucas.
And I'm Jace Andrews.
Thank you for joining us. And don't forget, folks,
go Pokes!